Greetings YouTube! First and foremost, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. My name is Lieutenant Gold, and it's time for the week 6 of the PCL D-League. Now, if you remember, last week we battled the DBS Dittos and came out on top versus his rain team. This time, we're going to be against Blazin Squid and the Toronto Totodiles. Let's go over his team. He's going to have the Tapu Lele, the Victini, the Zero Aura, the Muck Alola, the him on top, Venusaur, Zygarde 10%, Claydol, Araquanid, Alola, and Charizard Y. So last week we faced a rain team, and this week we are facing a sun team. So we're getting both back-to-back weather teams, and back-to-back live commerce too. If you guys haven't checked out Blazin Squid, he does live commerce his videos. He's a really good battler, really cool dude. You guys make sure to check him out. He's going to be in the description below, as well as the other coaches. To go over the team I am bringing, if you look at the matchup and you look at Mega Diancie making its debut, it has a really good matchup. With Diamond Storm, Earth Power, Moonblast, and Sandstorm, this kind of hits his team either neutrally or super effectively some type of way. It also bodies Mega Charizard Y. As well for the Sandstorm, it's to ensure that if I have Diancie with Charizard Y, if I go for the Sandstorm, if I go for the Sandstorm, it'll take out the Sun, so that way if he doubles into Venusaur for some reason, which would be a good reason actually, because who stays in on Mega Charizard Y on a Diancie? It gets rid of the Sun, and if he doesn't stay in, then he can't go. If he does stay in, sorry, he can't go for Solar Beam. And if he has HP Grass, it doesn't kill me, and then I could just kill it with Diamond Sword the next turn. So that's going to cover both of those. Although Rocks would probably have been a better choice, or smarter choice. I felt like having Sandstorm would be kind of cool. A cool tech to bring. It could also chip his team down, because his only immunity to that would probably be, it would be the Claydol. The rest of his team gets hit by Sandstorm, which is kind of neat. The speed is going to be for base 100s, obviously, and then at this point I could kind of just click super effective buttons, stuff like that. Next up, we're going to have Queen Bee, the Naganadel, with the Sugar Berry, nasty plot 3 attacks, just a kind of standard Naga, with enough speed for base 115s, which is going to be the Zygarde 10%, and just a little bit of HP on the side. Surfer, Dragon Pulse, and Flamethrower kind of hits his team super effectively. In the Sun, I believe Flamethrower Oko's non-bulky Venusaur, or a semi-bulky Venusaur. It's like a little bit of HP. Whatever the calc had. And at +2, I kind of go in. After I start getting one of my kills, I don't have to worry about things like Scarftini or Scarf Zygarde 10 if he decides to bring that. I do have a Sugar Berry just in case he is things like Scarf Zygarde 10%, or if he is a DD set. I believe I have it's a roll to kill at +1, I think. So even if he's banded, it's still a roll to kill, and obviously Dragon Pulse bodies it. Another concern would be Scarf Victini or Flame Charge Victini. I know he's a huge fan of Flame Charge, so it's something I have to be careful of. I was hesitating between the Psychic Berry and the Sugar Berry. Psychic Berry for both the Victinis and the Tapu Lele. I went with Shuka just because if he is if he scarfs himself into a Psychic type with Victini or Lele, I have different switches. And if he scarfs himself into, if he's not Scarf, he has to set up. And in that case, hopefully I have a speed boost by then. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's going to be the Naganadel. Pretty standard set. It just kind of comes in, punches holes, kind of breaks down walls and stuff like that. Next up, we're going to have Serperior with some leftovers. More of a bulky set this time around, with a lot of speed for base 100s, and then a lot of defense, mainly for Zygarde. This was so that I could kind of come in on Zygarde. Stuff like that. Synthesis, because in the Sun I get 75% health back instead of 50%, so it's great. And then Glare, because I want to slow down his team. He does have an Araquanid, and if he gets webs up, it wouldn't be the best for my team. Although I don't really see the Araquanid coming, because I have 3 flying types, I have a Contrary Mon, and I have a Magic Bounce user. So him bringing it would be kind of odd, in my opinion. But just in case he does bring it, I want to make sure I have Glare to slow down the rest of his team so that kind of gets on par. And then it's great to just kind of spread that status around, especially if he's like a Scarf Victini, if he's Scarf Lele, stuff like that. And then Hidden Power Rock is going to be for the Charizard. It's going to always 2-code Charizard unless I have a +2 up, which obviously will OHKO, unless he's like a very variable. He said I think it's like max. If he's max, I do not kill at +2, which is ridiculous because it's a ×4 super effective move, but Superior isn't the strongest of Pokemon, so. And then Leaf Storm, because it's a superior, I legally have to have Leaf Storm on there. It's not, like I said, it doesn't hit the hardest, but once those +2s start racking up, it could kind of go ahead and do some damage. Next up, we have the Choice Scarf Crocodile once again with Intimidate this time around. Kind of intimidate some of the physical attackers, things like if he brings a physical Victini, or if he brings like a DD Charizard Y for some reason, or if he has things like Zero Aura, Zygarde, stuff like that. This is going to be like another Zygarde switch in, just in case. With knockoff, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Stealth Rocks. I definitely need Rocks. He doesn't have the best removal, which is why I was hesitating on putting both Rocks on the Diancie and the Crocodile, but I went with Sandstorm on the Diancie instead. Knockoff is knockoff. Obviously, it's a great move. Earthquake is also a really good move. Things like Zero Aura, Victini, the Muck especially, and then Rock Slide for things like the Zard. It also covers just in case I need to lock myself into Rock Slide. I could hit the Charizard and the Victini as well, and the Araquanid. The speed is going to be for Zero Aura, max speed Zero Aura, and I get to be adamant. So I'm gonna be outputting some big boy damages with some adamant Crocodile. Next up, we're going to have Iris and Moltres. I think making its debut as well. Yeah, I don't think I brought it last week versus Rain Team. Another defensive set with Roost, Willow, Air Slash, Flamethrower. This is a bit of a Chinese spread, but I have a whole bunch of lists of notes for this one. The speed is just going to be for any potential creeps and stuff like that. There was another reason, but I completely forgot why. But anyways, it lives Life Orb Plasma Fist from Zero Aura after Rocks with the Wakon Berry, and it lives 2 Plasma Fist, Life Orb Plasma Fist from Zero Aura, 1 burn and 1 non-burn without the Rocks. It's also going to be my Zygarde switch in with Roost, Willow, Air Slash, and Flamethrower. I can kind of will down with the Air Slash, go ahead and Roost up and get some recovery back. He's not doing a whole lot to me. And this was another set where I wanted Wakon Berry, but I also wanted to run Z-Fly because he doesn't have a flying resist other than Zero Aura, which I kind of want to bait in and burn anyways. I opt for Wakon Berry just because I wanted some because I wanted to be able to take hits a bit better. Although Z-Fly would have been a nice nuke, I think Wakon Berry was fine. Yeah. Next up, we're going to bring Celesteela with an Alka Berry with Protect, Heavy Slam, Stone Edge, D-Seed. Not a huge fan of this set. I didn't know what to fill in. It's a Celesteela, but it's also a Sun Team, so it doesn't have the best of matchups. But I needed this for the Lele, just because if he does bring Lele without Celesteela, my team doesn't look too good to Psychic / Moonblast spam. So I needed this to kind of come in and switch in. The EVs, I take a +2. I take a HP Fire every time. 2 HP Fires from Lele every time, even without the berry. None the Sun, obviously, but I do take it with the Sun as well. I take 2 of them. Heavy Slam, obviously, OHKOs, and then it also lives a Plasma Fist from Zero Aura, assuming I believe he's also Life Orb. Stone Edge from Stone Edge kills the Charizard Y, and it kills Victini after Rocks if he has no HP investments, I believe. I don't have leftovers, so Leech Seed Protect is going to be the scumbag move of the week. Its Protect is also to stall the Sun turn. Oh my goodness, the Sun turns, because without the Sun I can eat a V-Create from Victini, I believe, without the Alka Berry if he is not banded. or Adamant. But yeah, that's going to be the team for this one. Really excited to play Blazin Squid. Obviously, he's going to be live recording his video. I'm going to be post-comming. But yeah, I'll see you guys for the battle. See you in a bit. And real quick, right before we get into the battle, just wanted to make a couple shoutouts. First of all, thank you to JB Westside, for the layout. Really appreciate it, because I have not been able to access Photoshop, unfortunately. Also a huge shout out to Dive, as well as JB and Wimar, for helping me build, and then also a huge thank you to Lenter Joe for recording my team for me. Definitely really appreciate it. These men are awesome. Definitely check them out. I'll try to remember to have them in the description below. But yeah, now on to the battle. Alrighty, it's time for the battle. So I just went over my team, but really quickly, I'm going to have a Wakan Zapdos, a Scarf Adamant Crook, a Fizz Def Superior, a bulky Celesteela as always, a Nasty Plot 3 attacks Berry Naganadel, and a Mega Diancie with Sandstorm. I see he's going to bring the Araquanid, which I'm pretty shocked to see, because like I said, I have 3 flying types, I have a Contrary Mon, and I have a Magic Bouncer. It's a bit weird to see that, unless he's not a web setter set, and like he's a bandit set or something, which wouldn't make sense. But still, I still think that's something he should have left on the bench. He's also gonna have the Lele, which I do have a Celesteela and it walls it pretty well. I take 2 HP fires in the sun with my investments, so it's kind of weird. He's going to bring the Charizard Y though, which I expected. This thing is a monster and he's been using it really well. The Zygarde 10%, which I think was going to be a DD set or a Bandit set. The Claydol, which I assume is going to be Spadef, and a Victini, which I assume is going to be a Fizdef Choice Scarf set, if he's not Choice Scarf on the Zygarde. So that's my assumption for the team from Team Preview. As for leads, I saw that Moltres was going to be a really good lead if he decides to lead with things like the Charizard or the Lele or the Araquanid or even the Claydol instead of Brox. I thought that was going to be a pretty good lead because I could Willow it, wear it down, and 1v1 it with Roost, as I can't do that with any other team members. Sorry about that, but yeah, that's so I'm going to lead with the Moltres, and from Team Preview, obviously you can see that he's going to lead with this Araquanid. But yeah, so Blazin Squid's going to challenge us. Let's see how this battle turns out. Ranward is going to challenge us. So yeah, he's going to throw out Spiderboard the Araquanid, as I am going to lead with Moltres. As we saw, there was no Zeraora, so the Wakanberry is kind of useless. I was kind of annoyed. I was like, man, I should have brought Fly MZ. But that's fine. He's going to switch out into his Claydol, which I assume is going to be his Spadefwall. Probably also predicting the Z Hurricane or Fly MZ, as I'm going for an Air Slash, and it does nothing. It does like 15%. He's going to double into the Lele and get that Psychic Surge going. And I'm going. The battlefield got weird, as I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp, try to will something down. I didn't think he was going to go Charizard or Victini. It would have been a bit of an odd play, especially early on. But talking about odd plays early on, I'm going to put my whole Irwin on the table, my whole crocodile face on the table, and go hard into my dark type onto the Lele, predicting a Psychic. I'm gonna intimidate it in my good plays and absorb that Psychic because it is not effective. And then I assumed he was Scarf Lele if he was not Scarf Victini. I'm gonna go for a knockoff. I am adamant it should have knocked him out, but he is very bulky. It was a roll to kill if he had no HP investment. It was like a roll in my favor, as I'm going to let Crocodile go down to a Moonblast. He's going to get that burn damage, as I'm going to go hard into my Diancie. This kind of pressured his team to, if he sacked this, he had not a lot of switch-ins. But he does save it for later and go hard into his Spadefwall. Once again, the Claydol. as I'm going to go ahead and Mega. That would also allow me to get my magic bounce up, so if he wants to go for webs later on, I could get the webs up on his team too. Although the clear body would have been nice, I thought that getting the Mega early would have been more beneficial. As I'm going to go for a Moonblast here, do a solid chunk. I did about 35%. That was pretty good damage. But I'm going to double into the Moltres here, predicting maybe an Earth Power / an Earthquake. As he's going to double into his Charizard. As you're gonna see in a second. There you go. Into his Charizard. This man would have gone a hard Charizard on a Diancie. He's playing very, very aggro, probably predicting a switch or something. But obviously it's not working out for him because he has to double back into the Claydol. As I'm going to go for an Air Slash, try to get some chip. Because with a little bit of Air Slash chip, the Charizard Y is in range of an HP Brock from Superior. I'm gonna go for a Willow and miss, and that was actually really, really unfortunate. And it's gonna be even more unfortunate the fact that he goes ahead and gets the Spit F drop. And why is it unfortunate? Well, without the burn and with the Spit F drop on my side, it would make it so that I cannot 1v1 this Claydol, even with Roost, because he is doing 50% with Psychic now. So it's very, very annoying, because that was his primary wall. I'm gonna be forced to switch into the Celesteela onto the Psychic, as that's gonna bounce right back off. And then with this threat, seeing he didn't have the Venusaur, the Leech Seed was kind of a free play here. He's going to double into the Araquanid, as I'm going to get said Leech Seed, try to get some health back, because like I said, I need, without the leftovers, I need this as healthy as possible. So getting the Leech Seed heals back, almost, I mean, yeah, too full actually. I'm gonna go for so much and miss. And that's really, really unfortunate, as he's going to go for liquidation and he is going to crit me. Which I'm going to pause real quick and explain why that matters. It matters because I am forced into a position where I'm on the back foot, and I need a Celesteela healthy. Because now, even with the Leech Seed, I am no longer able to live either, even with the berry, a Flamethrower from the Charizard Y in the sun, and I'm no longer able to live a Blue Flare / Recreate from Victini. And then the Stone Edge also did matter quite a lot, because it would have been a roll to kill, assuming he was just max HP. He seemed to be pretty bulky from that damage, because if he was banded, it would have done like 90%, because Araquanid is stupid strong. So he seemed to be more bulky on the bulky side, but it definitely would have pressured his team. Also kind of stuck my neck out and revealed the Stone Edge. If I would have hit and he didn't get the crit, he wouldn't have gone into Charizard, or he wouldn't, you know, be enticed to go to Charizard and stuff like that. So it was a bit annoying, as unfortunate as that is. But anyways, he's going to go into the Lele and sack the Lele, which was a pretty good play. Get the Misty Terrain, not the Misty Terrain, the Psychic Terrain, sorry, up, as I'm going to go for a Protect, try to get as much health back as possible using the Leech Seed, but I do not, because he switched out. As he's going to go into his Charizard, and at this point, my Celesteela, without, you know, cannot live Flamethrower. I was crossing my fingers, maybe if he's not highly invested, I might be able to live. He's ran a bulky Charizard Y before. As he's going to get the Mega off, go for the Drought. Yo, Mega Charizard Y looks really cool, by the way. Really cool design. I'm gonna go for the Protect. Try to stall out the Sun turns. As he's gonna go for a Flamethrower, I'm like, okay. If he's defensive, it's a roll. I might be able to eat one. He's gonna for Flamethrower. I'm gonna eat my Akka Berry. He's gonna go for the Flamethrower, and Celesteela just drops. It did not at all. He was apparently very, very offensive, Charizard. So yeah, very, very unfortunate. As I'm gonna go into my Mega Diancie here, threaten him out. I know his Claydol was pretty weak. As I'm going to go for a Diamond Storm, he switches into his Zygarde 10%. Beautiful animation with Diamond Storm, by the way. Look how pretty this looks. On the opposite side, I do get the defense boost, sorry. But this is where I make a misplay. He's gonna go for the 1,000 arrows. as I'm going to stay in and take one because I knew I took one, and go for the Moonblast and knock him out. Yeah, I feel like that was a misplay on my end. Even though the hacks did not help, I needed this Diancie as healthy as possible to deal with Victini and to deal with the Zygarde. I could have easily switched into my Superior, but yeah, he's going to go into his Claydol here, as I'm going to switch out into my Moltres. Without the Speed F boost, I believe I should be able to 1v1, but that's what I was thinking. As he's going to go for an Earth Power, the Sunlight's going to fade, so he's out of range from a Flamethrower on my end too. So I am going to Roost up and get some of my health back. I could still technically win this, because this kind of walls of Charizard. As he's going to predict a Roost and go for an Earth Power. What a BM play. However, I am so bulky of a Moltres that I am still getting some health back. So he can go ahead and use as many Earth Powers as possible. I'm getting about, I believe, 30 health points back. Yeah, so he's gonna go, but he decides to go for the Psychic here. Not too sure why, really. Maybe predicting a Superior, as it's not gonna do a whole lot of damage. I'm gonna go ahead and go for an Air Slash, and as you can see, it's still going to be a 2-hit KO from that range. He's gonna go from Psychic, put me about half. As I'm gonna go for another Roost. I need this, like I said, as healthy as possible. Had this Claydol been burned, it would have been dead already. It wouldn't have been able to switch in as easily as it would have. So that's why the burn miss is a bit unfortunate. Although these type of things happen, I was just very annoyed, and I'm sorry if I still sound annoyed. I know it's the game we play. It does happen, and it's very unfortunate. Anyways, he's going to go into his Victini and reveal that he is not Scarf, he is a Flame Charge set. And as soon as I saw this, I realized that I need to make a Diancie healthy. Yeah, he's gonna go for a Psychic as I got off, after I got off from Air Slash. Chip off of him, quote unquote chip. I do like, yeah, he's going to be down to 40% health. He's gonna knock me out. He's gonna be able to knock me out with 2 Psychics. And so unfortunately Moltres is gonna fall. And at this point I didn't really have a lot of answers for it. If he is, I'm gonna be able to go to my Diancie. I have a chance to live up Psychic from that range, and I definitely live a Fire move. The only way he could kill me if he has HP Steel, which he does, which is a great prep on his part. I mean, he realized that, hey, Mega Diancie is an issue and I need coverage for it, and that's what he did. So props to him. I'm gonna go into my Superior. He hasn't revealed any Fire type moves, so maybe he only had a Flame Charge, but he does reveal to have the Blue Flare, and that's going to completely, utterly destroy my Superior here. And this is where I wished I was the Psychic Berry on my Nagana tail, because as you're going to see, it's going to do a whole lot of damage. He's gonna go for that Psychic as I was talking about, and is going to Oko me. Right off the bat. But yeah, if I were to get bodied by a Pokemon, it would be my own mascot. I find that very, very fitting. But yeah, unfortunately we're going to lose 3-0 versus Blazin Squid and the Toronto Totodiles. It was definitely a really good game. Like I said, the hacks was a bit annoying. Had the Claydol been burnt, and I didn't get the Speed F drop, I'd be able to 1v1 it and whittle it down, so that Mega Diancie and Naganadel could have easily gone in and just start chipping down as his team. He wouldn't have much for it anymore. And then the Stone Edge miss probably wasn't as relevant, but the what's it called? I guess it mattered to the point where I would have needed to hit 2 Stone Edges to Oko the to kill the Araquanid, but the crit on the liquidation was a bit more important, just because it put me into that range for Flamethrower to kill after the Akaberry, whereas if he didn't get the crit, Charizard would never have been able to kill me with Flamethrower. But like I said, it's the game we play. These sort of things happen. The Victoria Victinis are going to be now 3-3 with a +1 differential, which means that next week is going to be even more important. I think we're on the cusp for playoffs. We're going to be battling Mop of Justice, my good buddy Maj, awesome dude, and his team name is going to be, I believe he's doing the Crawdons this week, yeah, the Portland Crawdons. Definitely excited to battle my good pal Mop of Justice. But I will see you guys for the week 7. Until then, stay cool, guys. Bye.